Hello, I'm Amber Uper, and I'm taking another look at this amplifier of mine that I built, this little red and black amplifier. Now, this is all working and tested and everything, and it works fine. Nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't work quite as It doesn't have quite the sound that I want. It has pretty much a standard guitar amp sound, but it's not quite as hot as I want it to be, I guess you'd say. My other little amplifier that's the same power level and all of that, that one is a little bit more snarly than this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the preamp circuits a little bit to, as they say, hot rod the amplifier and see how that sounds. Now this is the information that I'm going to use for doing that. I gotta check my camera, make sure it's getting that, and it is. So let's take a closer look. I don't know if it'll focus on this or not, but anyway, as you can see, hot rodding the normal channel. And what's involved here is replacing some of these components. And this is for your standard 2-channel Fender amplifier. And this only has 1 channel. And it follows this schematic fairly closely. And what you see here is I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the letters, the things that are in blue, you replace those components with the component designation in red. So basically the plate resistor here, this is the plate resistor for the first triode. And this is a 100K resistor, 100K ohm, which is 100,000 ohms. And you're taking that 100K ohm resistor out and you're replacing it with a 220K ohm resistor. And I actually already did that to see if that would help just by itself, and it's very marginal. And so the next thing you're doing here is taking, this is the cathode resistor. This is a 1500 ohm resistor here. That's the standard Fender. And you're taking that out and replacing it with 220 or a 2200 ohm resistor, I should say, 2.2K resistor. And what that does is it increases the amplification of that triode, that first stage of gain. So what it's doing is it's putting a little bit more gain into the tone controls here, and then it goes through it comes out of the first stage gain, goes through the tone controls, goes to the second stage gain. And also what they want you to do here is change the tone capacitors so it lets a little bit less bass response through, and I'm going to do that. And you're supposed to change both. This is one tube here. This is the two halves of the same tube. It's a twin triode, and so you're supposed to change those components on both of those. And then from there, in this amplifier, it goes to the output tube, the power tube. So that's what I have to do. I have to change these components in here. I don't have to change these because this is part of the 2-channel amplifiers that that Fender normally makes. So that's what I'm going to do. And those parts are here. Here's one right here. That's the cathode resistor and capacitor, bypass capacitor. And that the other one is down here. I have to change those. And I wouldn't have to change the capacitors except that I solder the capacitor and the resistor together as one unit, and then I put the insulator on the legs of those that go to the tubes so it doesn't touch anything else. Now, I don't know if you can see this. This is one of the plate resistors, and these, like I said, have already been changed to the 220 k ohm resistors, because I did that first to see if it would help. And then in here you have these three capacitors. These are your tone capacitors. Now what I have to do is I have to change all three of these, but I'm going to use this one to replace this one, and then I'm going to replace this one with a new one right here. And this is the 022 capacitor that shows in there. And then this one here I'm going to replace with this one. And then I have, these are the cathode resistors, and because I need to do it, here's the two bypass capacitors for the cathode circuit. So I have to replace those in here, and then I'll get to test it again and see how it works. So let's just go ahead and pull a couple of components out here, because that won't take very long. I always use my soldering gun because it puts out a lot of heat a lot faster. So, and I use these because the stuff gets hot when you're doing this. First thing I got to do is move a wire out of the way, and I can pull this leg. All right, and then I'm going to do this one. So those, got them off of the tube. This is the tube socket right here. And now I am going to remove this one. This is the ground. Oh no, that's not the ground one. That's the. It goes to ground from there, but there's another resistor in the path because it's also the feedback loop from the output. So now I got to get this one out. This is the ground right here. Primary signal ground. Takes a little bit longer to heat up because it's got other stuff in it. Alright, so there they are. I've taken those two out, and you can see how I do these. I twist them together and solder them, and then I insulate the ground side, or I mean the hot side of it where it goes to the tube socket, so that it doesn't touch anything else and cause problems. So there we are. Now what I will do is, see, you got to make sure. Well, these are a polarized capacitor, so you got to watch which end you're using to ground, and the little arrow on there gives you that information. These are 25 microfarads at 25 volts. So we take one of those and one of these. Now this is a 2.7 K resistor because I don't have any 2.2 K resistors to do this with. So I basically just take them and hold them like this, twist them together like this. Then I will solder them so that they have good connection. And then this is the ground end, so that just goes to ground. This end I will use an insulator tube. This is some shrink tubing. Basically what it does, you put it over that, you cut it to length, you put that over the wire, and then you heat it up with a lighter, and it shrinks down to fit on to fit tightly on the wire. That's how you get them to look like that. So that's what I have to do. So I'm going to put that back for now, and I'm going to put this over here with this other one. And now I have to attempt to take my parts out here. So let's do that. first the treble capacitor. There's one side. And let's see, will this come out? There's the other side. So this is the old treble capacitor. This is a 270 picofarad at 500 volts. And what I got to put in there is a 500 picofarad at 500 volts. So let's just use the old one for a measurement for the length of the legs, because why not? So we'll do that. We're going to do that. Alright, so now we got that, and I need the legs. I'll grab my wire snippers. I'll take that off about right there. And then the other leg, let's see, we'll take that off about right there. Now we can trim these off once we get them in, but you know, you get the extra length in there and it becomes more of a difficulty with mounting it in. So there's the new one. So now all I have to do is mount it in there. Now I'm going to do this. I got to do this. So that basically will go into the little leg. You probably can't even see it right here with the camera, but that's what I got to do. So we're going to get that in there. I'll wait for this to get hot. So here we go. Alright, so that half is in there. Wait for the solder to get solid. Then I have to get this leg into here, which is a little bit more of a chore. So we'll go ahead and do that now, as soon as this gets hot. This gets hot real quick, but not instantly. And then you got to heat up your solder where you're going to put it in. Alright, so that's done. So there's one part changed. Now, I don't even have to trim those off. So that's good. So now let's do the next one. This one's going to be a little more interesting. Sometimes I bend them a little too much when I'm trying to get them, when I put them in there. Alright, so that's out. Now, I need to get this out of the way. This one is going back in where this one is. So let's get it out of here. Alright. And then I'll get this one out. It's just got to come straight up. Alright, so there's that one. I'll put that over there. I saved the parts because of course I can use them again. So now I have to set this up to go in there. And the legs are a little bit long. So we'll deal with that. What I got to do is bend this straight. Alright. This end has to go in there, so we'll do that first. I'm going to cut this end off a little bit. Like that. And we'll put that one in there first. And this heats up. Alright. in there. Now, let's take a look at this leg. It's going to go in here, out here, and this is going to be a bit on the long side. Can I get it in there? Oh yeah. I'll trim it after. So here we go. We'll get this one in. Hope this video doesn't run too long, because I don't want it to run too long. So there's that one. Alright. Now, this one. This one's got to jump over to the other side where the other one was. So we'll bend those legs like that. If you can see that. I don't know if you can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in here first, because it's easier to put that in then over there. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now there's an opening in that, so let's bend this over. We'll bend this down so it'll go into the connection on that, on this right here, the control. I'm not sure which one. I think that's the mid-range control. Let's get it through there. And then get that hot enough that I can get that through there. Alright. Now, I take a little bit of solder and touch up those connectors, just in case. So those are good. This one had lots of solder, but we'll touch that up again anyway. This one actually has a bunch of solder. Perhaps too much, but I'm not going to worry about it. And then we'll do this one here. Okay. So that takes care of that. Now I got to trim those two wires, legs from those capacitors. Clip them off here. Clip off the other one. I think I can get that without the end of the leg is in there. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the camera, and I'm going to get these two things set up so I can get them put in, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, I got those parts in, and I figured there was not much point in going through doing the soldering while the camera was running. The video is already long enough. So here we are. There's the new cathode resistors and capacitor combinations. They're all in there. Got that all back together now, and I've got my three replaced parts here for the tone capacitors. So the amplifier is once again ready to be tested. So we'll see how that goes. It should be interesting, see if it makes any difference. It should make some difference, but we'll have to test it to find out. So that's, there we go. I'm sure you can see in there somewhat. There. So that's the video for this, for the modification of this amplifier. So next step is to test it, and we'll see what it sounds like. So that's it. Thanks for watching.